I was watching a video the other day from my dear friend Leroy Colbert, who has since passed away, and the video was on protein. And he got to the subject of creatine and stated that it's found in beef, not found in chicken, and that's incorrect. And I love old Leroy, but this is incorrect information, and I know that publications since the early 90s have always stated that creatine is found in red meat, but it is found in other meats. And so I want to give everybody a list of the various meats and their creatine content, because that way we can all enjoy a more varied diet. When we're given figures on the creatine content in meat, it's always stated in raw meat. I want to keep that in mind. Now, besides beef, which is 4 to 5 grams per kilogram of meat. Now, a kilogram is 2.205 pounds of meat. We also have creatine in salmon, and it's very similar. It's 4.5 grams per kilogram. And chicken was mentioned. You know, Leroy mentioned chicken not having any creatine. Well, that's inaccurate. It's 4 to 5 grams per kilogram of meat. Now, we also have pork as a very fine source of creatine, 5 grams per kilogram of meat. Even tuna has 4 grams per kilogram of meat. Now, cooked foods, cooked ham, cooked meat. Now cooked ham is 2.8 grams per kilogram of meat. So you see how actually cooking does reduce the creatine content in certain meats. Now, milk does have a little bit of creatine. It's only 0.02 grams per kilogram, but it does contain a little creatine. So I did the research here on this creatine content in these various meats, and I thought it was important because it gets a little monotonous eating the same thing day in and day out. And now I think we can kind of relax and enjoy our diets more now that we know that there are other meats that we can incorporate into these diets. Now, as you can see, it's impractical for everybody to eat enough meat to get the required minimum of 10 grams of creatine a day. You'd have to eat 5 pounds of meat. So that's why we supplement with creatine monohydrate powder. And you want to make sure you get creatine monohydrate. Now, creatine monohydrate was such a success that it became cheaper over time. They sold so much of it. So manufacturers came out with other forms of creatine which they could make a better margin on. These forms I have found do not work. Now, they'll say, well, creatine monohydrate bloats you and our form doesn't bloat you. Well, the bloating is why the creatine monohydrate works, and it's not bloating, it's cell-volumizing. The creatine monohydrate attracts water. It sends water into the muscle cells and causes muscle torque. Those muscle cells push against that water, and that's why you get stronger in about 5 days. It's really incredibly fast acting. So you want to remember too that the Chinese are dumping very cheap creatine on the market, and there's only a very few brands that are any good. Now, if you want to buy quality creatine, you can go with EAS, Experimental and Applied Sciences, okay, or you can go with a company like Optimum Nutrition, which you will see has the Creapure logo on it. Now, many companies carry or add Creapure to their products, so I don't want everybody to be misled thinking that Optimum is the only company that sells Creapure. You just have to look on the label. It's a tiny little logo, Creapure. It's made in Germany, and it's one of the 2 best forms or brands of creatine monohydrate. Now, someone asked me about the source of creatine monohydrate powder. I mean, it would take 5 pounds of meat just to create the 10 grams of this powder, and that's impractical. It'd be a terrible waste of meat it would be very expensive. So obviously that's not the way it's created. It's created in a laboratory. It's manufactured from sarcosine and cyanamide. So rest assured, you're not killing lots and lots of cows by ingesting creatine monohydrate.